Hi, Dan and Denny on our third podcast for BVS Film Productions. Say hello, Denny.
Hello, Dan.
Very good.
You know, it's been a little bit of a busy week with videos and production, and but what's coming up is a visit to a trade show.
Yeah,
and
right.
You know, you find that trade shows have a lot of opportunities for videos, both from an exhibitor standpoint, also as a trade show sponsor. You know, there are trade associations that have meetings and events, right. And it's important to have a video crew there to document that on all levels, from, you know, interviewing attendees, getting testimonials, seeing all of the activity that's going on throughout the show, whether it's education and speakers or demonstrations by exhibitors. Putting that all together, you know, like we've done, you create a lot of different promotional videos that you can use to promote the show or the event in the following year.
Right. Yeah, I always liked doing that GIE Expo. That was, 4 years ago we were doing that, you know, on and off.
Oh, yeah.
And we'd all drive or fly down and stay at the Crown, wherever that was.
The Crown Plaza.
Crown Plaza, that was nice.
Louisville, Kentucky.
They always put us up there. It was really nice.
You know, that's among the top trade shows in the country, with 20,000 attendees, 3 nights of concerts, 20 acres outside of outdoor power equipment. You know, your John Deeres and Toros and digging equipment, making holes, grooming land, a lot for landscapers and outdoor power equipment dealers. And there's a lot of promos that we did in advance of the show, whether it's the outdoor demo area, whether it was the speakers that are coming, the highlights of the show. There's a lot of different facets that you want to promote. So from an organizer standpoint, it was a great way to promote the show.
Yeah, I was going to say, with some of the benefits to doing that, you know, you have the visual approach. You know, I mean, it gets a lot of SEO, you know, when you're putting up these promos to like YouTube and the different places you can optimize them.
Yep.
And it's a quick, you know, boom, 2 seconds, this is it. You know, this is what we do. Well, 15 seconds, isn't that what they were? 15, 30 seconds?
Oh, yeah.
So that was kind of neat.
Well, we also did on-the-spot editing. You remember the Briggs & Stratton engine demonstration?
Yes.
And,
yes.
You know, being right there on the spot, the engineer really wanted to go through all the details of the new engine that they were introducing. And Eddie was right in the hotel right after that with the footage, putting it all together so they could get that right out on social media. I think that was a pretty good way to go. And you can do that, whether it's a demonstration or a new product or information that they want to convey right from the show. You can also uplink it if you need to.
Yeah, you know, that was like a baptism under fire, is that what they call it? Where you have to, you know, it's like, oh, by the way, we're doing these social media videos. Can you shoot them and edit them and hand them back to us in the next day? Yeah, an hour, and then we'll put them up. So it was cool. You know, we got to learn how to do that. We don't get a lot of that often now, but it's we don't really try to promote it actually because
I know
we don't want to do that every year.
But then again, it can be done, especially on a shorter string. Let's call it with. Something that's not a 15-minute, but you know, you could take a good minute presentation, a 2-minute presentation by someone in a booth, turn that around and have it for them. But one of the things that we did too, not being at the show, was to have like a company like MTD, where lined up all these products and they went through step by step so that they had a complete product line demonstration that they not only sent out when there was no shows during COVID,
right?
But then could use it while you're at the show to have it running on a screen so that people can see what's going on with these products. But then you have those opportunities, you know.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the thing about having a video crew there, now if you're an exhibitor, we did this with the launch of a Mr. Heater product at the hardware show, and they have an opportunity to, you know, get into the promos that the show itself, hardware show, was doing.
Yeah.
So having a camera crew at their booth with the lights and the cameras and interviewing the CEO and the president created a lot of buzz. You know, when you're walking down an aisle of a trade show and you see these cameras and lights, all of a sudden it's like, you know, it's like fireflies to the the light. Really, they want to see what's going on.
Right.
But
so what do you think the first step is for somebody that wants to use video in their trade show? What is like the first step they should take?
The very first step you need to take if you're going to utilize video in a trade show is to think, first of all, about the objective of what you want to present, whether it's a product or a service, but also keep in mind, at a trade show, you really don't want to have a 5-minute video running on a screen because people aren't going to see it. So the one thing you want to keep in mind is what's the most powerful image you can present at the show to capture the audience coming down through the aisle. You know, something impactful, something powerful, something, let's call it the boom factor, if you will. And something that can be very short. It could be 15 seconds, it could be 20 seconds, but it's going to catch someone's eye.
Yeah. The other thing I would suggest would be when you're looking for a video company is to find someone that has some experience in that field. You know, a lot of people say they can go shoot live stuff or they can edit, no problem, but you got to see their work. And you'll know very quickly whether they use a windscreen so the wind doesn't blow outside or just the little things that, you know, make things look more professional than not.
Well, in a way, it's almost like journalism photography. You have to capture the moment. There are little things going on throughout that show, and all of a sudden, you know, as you're going down the aisles with your camera crew, you're mobile. You know, you have some stationary things that you do, but with a gimbal and a camera moving through the aisles, you might see someone doing something right to your left. You want to catch that right away. But then later on, that little piece of footage really comes in handy, you know.
I have always found the best thing to do is to shoot more than you need. Always.
Yes.
Because you can use that no matter, like you're saying, oh, hey, did we ever shoot? Oh, yeah, we did, didn't we? You know, whatever it is. It could be like a plane going over the top of the whatever, you know, it's just shoot it all. And then, you know, the way the cameras are now, it's not like you're pulling a roll of film out and getting a new roll of film. It's like a little card you got to work with now.
Well, you know, and going back to that outdoor power equipment show, there was a little segment where they were using a chainsaw to cut through logs as a demonstration. But one thing is shooting the guy just cutting a log, or the other part of it is cutting it so close that the little splinters and things are flying out.
Sparks are always really good.
Sparks are flying out in slow motion. But you need that. I mean, that's your eye catcher right there. You know, and that's what makes it fun.
Yeah, neat stuff.
But you put that all together, and in 15 seconds, you know, you have something that's a really good message that comes back to, if you're using it in social media, you know, you tie that back to your product, you tie that back to the company, or an invitation to visit you at the show. There's a lot of different things that can be done. Awesome. So that wraps up our third podcast for BVS, and once again, we are our own sponsors right now. We really haven't pushed that yet, but someday we'll get a sponsor. I'm happy to be a sponsor.
Okay. Denny's our sponsor. Eddie, will you be a sponsor?
Absolutely.
Okay, our cameraman Eddie's going to be a sponsor too. Executive producer too. All right, sounds good. Thanks. Have a great week, and we'll be back next week with our next podcast.
Visit bvsfilmproductions.com or email info@bvsfilmproductions.com to find out more.